How's it going? Necrotic again with Thralls of Metal, and I'm going to do another collection update. Once again, I buy a fuck ton of music. We're going to get used to this. So starting off, we have a release from Ulthar Cosmovore. This is a relatively new band on 20 buck spin. It's a mix of black metal and old school death metal. Real grating, dirty sounding production and real haunted sounding vocals. It's a pretty solid listen. Some of the songs run a little overly long, but it's pretty good. It has a nice balance between the two styles and has some really cool atmospheric parts. Definitely worth checking out. This is the new release from Soem, something called Lotus. It's a cool little gatefold cover. Soen is Martin Lopez's band, formerly of Opeth, and it has an interesting sound. It's very much a blend of, I would say, Tool, Catatonia, and Opeth. Minus the harsh vocals, at least in the early Opeth. Actually, I kind of like this better than a lot of the current Opeth albums, but, you know, those albums are alright. I'll give them that. But this is really solid stuff, and I was surprised I even liked the ballady songs on here because they're so well written and they emote so well. Like, the lyrics are relatable, and it's just really well written. Excellent sound. It echoes all of those bands, and yet they're still forging their own sound, which I really like. Really good release. Definitely check these guys out. Master, their self-titled debut. This is a reissue of the first one, and it's kind of interesting because it contains the original untriggered mix and the triggered mix. Also with a rehearsal demo and an unreleased album, which is essentially pretty much a demo too, since a lot of these songs popped up on this album. This is a really good listen here. It's very much a blend of thrash and death metal, that early death metal sound where the two were still very much related and hadn't quite separated yet. Real grating, heavy production, awesome, scathing, squealing leads, like heavy Slayer influence on this. Really solid listen. Definitely check out these guys. I'm gonna have to start getting more of these this band's back catalog because I really dig this stuff. Lurk. This came out on Transcending Obscurity, thanks to the sampler that I got from the Metalhead box in January. I definitely got a chance to check out what's all on that label, and there's a lot of good bands, and this was one of them. They're a sludge metal band from Finland, I believe, and it's very atmospheric, very doomy, long, heavy, drawn-out songs, but they don't really overstay their welcome very much. They really build on the atmosphere. It really works. I really dig this release, and I might have to check out more by them. Isis Celestial. This is the 2013 reissue of it on Ipecac, and this was the only one I was missing out of their back catalog. I had the Signal 5 EP that was the companion piece to this, and I needed to hear the rest of this. It's really good. This is pretty much their big shift into post-metal. Like, every release after this got more layered and I guess you could say more relaxing for grating the harsh vocals and heavy guitar sound. There's a very chill atmosphere about this. A lot of these songs are nice, like long, slow builders, and they build to these big, epic endings. Really good stuff. I dig this one. I don't know how it compares to the rest of their catalog. Maybe we'll get that in a discography. Who knows? Really good stuff, though. This is another one I got on Transcending Obscurity. This is Imperialist with their album Cipher. This is their first album. Very young group. And it's, I guess you could say, a mix of black and death metal. It's very, very much in the vein of something like Dissection. It kind of blends a melodic death metal sound with black metal. The vocals stay pretty much in that black metal realm, but really good writing in here. Lots of killer lead work. Good diversity in the songs, too. And I believe this band is actually from the States. I think they're from California. Really good debut from these guys. Definitely dig it. Graveyard. Back to the Mausoleum. I This is an early EP of theirs. I think they re-recorded. This is on War Anthem Records. I believe these guys are from Spain or Portugal. It's very much straightforward, old school death metal. Lots of cool horror themes, including Cthulhu, because we love that guy. Some keyboards on here that kind of came off a little kitschy, but most of it just sticks to a tried and true old school death metal formula, very much in the vein of incantation, immolation, stuff of that ilk. Really good listen though, I dig this. And this is the Splatterhash split EP between Cannabis, Corpse, and Ghoul. All 4 of these songs kick ass. It's a really short listen. This cover is epic. Surprisingly, Ghoul had the longer songs on here, which I was kind of surprised by, because they're just a straightforward thrash death band, and most of their songs run maybe 3 minutes. Cannabis Corpse's songs are awesome. Once again, the pun-based titles, the Inhalation Plague and Shatter Their Bongs. Love these guys. Hopefully going to go see Cannabis Corpse this year with Gorod, and Ghoul, hopefully I get to see them soon, because I love these guys. I've recently just got into them, which we're going to get into right here, because I picked up 2 early Ghoul albums. We have Maniacs and We Came for the Dead. Awesome tongue-in-cheek horror elements across the board. Hilarious. The writing is solid. It's an awesome blend of death metal and thrash metal, so you get blast beats and then just chuggy moshers, kind of like DRI and Cannibal Corpse. Now these guys are actually members, some of these guys are actually members of Impaled and Exhumed too, so kind of gives you an idea of, in terms of the death metal side, what they sound like if you're familiar with those bands. But awesome albums, great goofy artwork, funny shtick, love to see them live. And this was an early one I picked up from Deserted Fear. This one is My Empire, and it's a pretty solid listen. Once again, they kind of have, it's a blend between Swedish death metal and melodic death metal, and they get a little samey in the songs, but they bring some killer riffs, and it's a good listen. I really dig it. This was reissued by Century Media. It's hard to find the original, I guess, or it's hard to find it if you don't want to pay a lot of money, maybe. But solid listen. Definitely give it a jam. This is Deadbird's 3, The Forest Within the Tree. This is straight up doom metal, maybe bordering on stoner metal. Very long, heavy songs, great guitar tone. This guitar tone is very reminiscent of, I would say, earlier Candlemass. Very bottom heavy, and they just let these heavy chords just ring out. Really good atmosphere building. This cover is pretty wild looking too. Vocals are predominantly clean, but they do throw in some growls and screams there. I really dig this. This is the first album I've ever picked up by him. I jammed him on YouTube, and I think I'm going to have to find more. And then finally, we have the new release by Carnal Forge. This one is Gun to Mouth Salvation. Cool. It's been a while since these guys came out with an album. I think the last one was maybe 2009 or 2010, somewhere in there. And this is pretty much exactly what they sound like before. It's a good mix of melodic death metal and thrash metal, so if you're familiar with bands like Hate Sphere or The Haunted, very, very much in that vein. A little bit of like Lamb of God-ish songs in here too, so if you're into that, some good ones on here. Vocals are kind of a one-note thing, and yeah, they're all right. Tons of good guitar riffs though, tons of them. I mean, this is really good if you just want some thrashy barn burners. Skip the atmosphere, just go for the gut punch. Good stuff. Well, that concludes the latest collection update. Believe me, I'm going to be doing plenty more. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe, and I'll catch you later.